Good afternoon everyone. Today we are going to start our chapter number 1, that is Python revision tour. In this chapter we are going to discuss about the concepts that we have discussed in 11th class, and we are going to start with the introduction part of the chapter, and then we will discuss about tokens, character set, data types, etc. in this chapter, various variables and assignments. So very first we are going to discuss about the introduction part. Let us have a brief review of the Python. Python is a very high level object oriented programming language which was developed in 1989 actually. Implementation work started in 1989 and its first official version was introduced in Feb 1991. It was developed by Guido van Rossum at CWI. CWI is basically a research center or National Research Center on Mathematics and Computer Science in Netherlands. It got its name from the famous BBC TV serial whose name was Monty Python's Flying Circus. Its latest stable version that we are using is 3.8.2 and it is an interpreter based language. Till now I told you about a brief introduction about the Python. Now what is the meaning of the high level language, what is the meaning of interpreter, how it came into existence, we are going to discuss all that about all that. Okay, fine. So here you can see that its implementation was started in 1989 and its official version first was introduced in Feb 1991. So let us going to discuss about what is language, what is the use of language, why we use programming language and all these. Very first, what we mean by language. Language is basically a mode of communication by which we can express our views and ideas. Okay, and two persons can communicate if they understand a common language. If they don't understand a common language, then two persons cannot communicate, isn't it? Now two persons can communicate if they understand a common language. If they don't understand a common language, then what we need a language translator which will convert one's language into second language and another person language into our language, isn't it? So here we have the diagrammatic representation that if two persons P1 and P2 they understand a common language, then they can communicate directly. Otherwise what we need a language translator which will convert the language of P1 into P2 and P2 into P1 so that both of these can understand or communicate. Fine. Now in terms of programming, as we all know that computer is an electronic device which understands the language of zeros and ones, and it understands the language of zeros and ones, and this language is known as binary language. Fine. But when we are working with the computer system, we provide input through the various input devices available like keyboards, joysticks, scanner, etc., where the information that we are providing, suppose we are using the keyboard, then we are using keys A to Z either in capitals or in small, we use 0 to 9. Somehow this information need to be converted into binary so that the computer system can understand that. Okay. Now as we all know that computer is an electronic device, it understands the language of zeros and ones. It is the natural language of the computer system but not of the users. But when we are providing the input, then it means the input need to be converted into binary so that the computer system can understand that. It means all the characters or the input that is provided by the user to the computer system need to be converted into 0 and 1 so that the computer can start working. Suppose I understand Hindi or English and you understand Hindi or English, then we both can communicate. If we don't understand a common language, then we need a language translator. Fine. So same is the case with the computer system. When we are providing any input to the computer system, this input need to be converted into binary so that the computer system can understand that. Okay. So in the early days of the programming, what we basically does that we provide the input with the help of the binary language that consists of zeros and ones. But the binary language that we actually use is a machine dependent language. Machine dependent language means if you have written a code on one machine, then it is not mandatory that the same code will also execute on another machine. We need to convert that also. Okay. It means all the information, all the stuff that is available to us is already in the form of binary. There is no need of any conversion if we are using machine language. So after going with the basic definition, we will start doing the Python. Very first we are going to discuss what we mean by program. Program is basically set of instructions written in any programming language. Like in English, very first we start learning alphabets, then we combine the alphabets to form the words, then we form the sentences, and then we form the paragraph. Similarly, a program, you can say, is like a paragraph, and there are different aspects. An instruction is known as a statement, like in English. Okay, so programming language is the mode of communication with the electronic devices or the electronic machines. Now very first we are going to discuss about the various generation of the programming language, and then we will come to Python. Okay, very first is machine or low level language or binary language. It is the natural language of the computer system. We provide input in the form of zeros and ones. We provide input in the form of zeros and ones, and computer system understand it and then process the task. So but it is very difficult for the users to learn, and it is also machine dependent. Machine dependent also means that the code written once on a machine, it will not execute the machine with different architecture. Okay, here is an example that is given to you, that what we want to do here is we want to add these two binary numbers 0110 and 1001. It is not 110 and it is not 1001. These are the binary numbers and we want to add these, and we are using the binary language. It means we cannot use the plus symbol also. Instead of having the plus symbol, what were having there in the binary language, that we need to use opcode for each and every operation. There was different opcode for addition, subtraction, multiplication and division, and when we will get the information or the resultant, then it is also in the form of binary. It is not 1111. We need to, or the system will convert this 1111 into the form of hours, so that we can understand. If we are using binary, then you will get the exact result as 1111, but 4 times 1 according to computer means 15 in our natural language. Okay, so there is a difference between the working of the natural language of the users and also of the machine. So to overcome the disadvantages of the binary language, the concept of assembly level language was introduced. In assembly level language, we use mnemonics. Mnemonics are basically 3 or 4 character words which are used to represent any opcode or the operation that you want to perform. Suppose for addition, what we can do, we can use ADD. For subtraction, you can use SUB. For multiplication, you can use MUL. For division, you can use DIV, etc. It is easier than the machine language, but the problem here is that we need to convert the program that is written in assembly level language into the binary language, so that the computer system can start its working. An assembler is such a language translator or a program which converts a program that is written in high level language into in assembly level language into binary. And the program or the code that is written by us is known as source code, and the output of the language translator is known as object code, and in this the object code is the machine code. So to overcome the disadvantages of the assembly level languages, high level languages were introduced. High level languages are basically English like language, where you can use capital A to Z, small a to Z, 0 to 9, plus minus, multiply, divide. Almost all the keys which are available or the part of your keyboard we can use in a program that we will write in high level language. Same problem here is that we need to convert the program that is written in high level language into binary, so that the computer system can perform the task, and after performing the result in the binary or the task in the binary, we need the result in human readable form, so that it becomes understandable. So Python is a high level language, and we need to convert a program that is written in high level language into machine level language, or you can say the object code. And there are basically 2 language translators available for that task. One is compiler and one is known as interpreter. Compiler converts a program that is written in high level language into low level language, all at once, and interpreter does the same task line by line. It means it will execute first line. When you will press enter, then the first line will be converted into the zeros and ones, and if there is any error in the first line, then you will get the notification at the same time. But if you are using compiler like we use in C and C++, we will write our complete program, then it will be converted into zeros and ones, and we will get a list of errors in that case. Fine. Python is an interpreter based language. C and C++ are the compiler based languages, and in Python we use interpreter. So today we are going to start from the first topic, that is about the character set. Character set means the set of characters that the language can recognize. Every language is having its own character set. Like in English we use A to Z, in Hindi we use A and so on. Similarly in Python we can use capital A to Z, small a to Z, plus minus, multiply, divide, square brackets, curly braces, hash symbol. All the symbols, all the keys approximately which are available on the keyboard, we can use as a part of Python program. Here you can see the character set, like we can use capital A to Z, small a to Z, that we use in Hindi. Similarly in Python you can use almost all the keys combinations which are available on your keyboard. Next topic that we are going to discuss is about token. Today we will just have a brief introduction of the token, and from tomorrow we are going to discuss in detail about the tokens in Python. Token are also known as lexical unit. Token is the smallest individual unit of the program. There are basically 5 type of tokens available: keywords, identifiers, literals, operators, and punctuators. Every programming language have same type of tokens, same 5 type of tokens available: keywords, identifier, literals, operators, and punctuators. So from tomorrow we are going to discuss in detail about the keywords, identifier, literals, operators, and punctuators. Thank you.